Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Shanda Sumpter, and I love this format. I coach entrepreneurs how to build businesses virtually online, which is quite timely right now.
I'll bet with everything going on, you're in high demand, I'm sure. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
Well, it gets rid of anything like adrenal fatigue or body breakdown or any of that. You develop a new sense of leadership to be able to work with a team because everything is an enrollment game. So I think you get better at sales by getting better at team building. I know I couldn't imagine doing what I do just thinking about just being independent in the world. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's everything. I love it. I mean, you just can't do it without it.
Great. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell us your thoughts.
I disagree. I disagree with that. When you love well, you look at the human being. So I was just having a conversation like this with my COO yesterday about somebody in a senior leader inside of our company, going and having a conversation with him. And I said, you already know what needs you need met. So write that down. So that's your true north of what you have to get, done. But before you go into a conversation, stop and love the person well and care more about them than you do even getting your needs met. But you're still going to get your needs met because you're still going to bring it up. So we have a mantra, people before profits. And when you apply that to the team culture, I mean, even when we fire people, we think about how can we help them in the firing process. So I don't think it's hard to engage people. Just love them well.
That's great advice. Question number 4, what other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
So something that I learned the hard way is I ruined a lot of great people by giving them too much at the very beginning. And so something another great leader taught me years ago was, Shanda, you need to not hire you. Like there's already you. Don't hire people who are exactly like you and who are motivated the same way you are. And so I would set the bar so high that I would give incentive plans and I'd throw money at you know what I mean? Well, when we do this, you'll get this. And we would do that and they get this and then they'd be ruined because there wasn't enough years of sweat equity in to be able to create that or justify that type of pay. And so don't overpay. I mean, I think it's really important. Don't overpay. There's people right now in the industry that claim, in my industry, in the coaching industry, that claim other CEOs' success stories because they were part of the team. And a big reason why they claim it is because they became a guru in the team. And so don't make people gurus in the team, literally work as a team, and let people create sweat equity to be able to create the results over time, because a lot of people can be strong out of the gate, and strong out of the gate could be a year, right? But not a lot of people have stickability, and that's what you need in a good team.
I like that word, stickability, that ability to endure within the team and continue to contribute time and time again, and not just be a one and done. That's a great insight. I like that. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams, such as yourself, would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
Sarah Blakely, Spanx. I will never forget meeting her husband years ago, and he said, "You are so much like my wife." And it was such a compliment because I remember I didn't even know who she was, and I knew who she was at that point, but I saw her on the cover of Forbes magazine, and she was really into visualizing and spirituality, and I'm very biblical. And so just making that connection, I mean, I think she really inspired me that I could play a bigger game. And now, having a connection with her and her husband is just really inspiring to me. I don't even know if she knows that she inspires me to the level that she does, because she's such a humble leader and such a real person. And I just really admire that.
Well, she's definitely a fantastic woman. I have a great deal of respect for her as well. So that's a great recognition. So thank you for recognizing her.
Yeah.
Sixth and final question. Tell us about your first job.
That's such a great question. So my first job was at Spa Lady in Vancouver, Canada. It's really Richmond, a little place in Canada, close to Vancouver. And I sold memberships, and I really wanted to be the fitness girl at the front of the room, but I was too shy. And I was too afraid to get in front of a class and teach a class. I'd practice at home from the mirror, but I stayed in sales because sales was actually more comfortable for me, always wanting to be that girl, like teaching the aerobics class. Funny enough, fast track to today, I now speak on stages. I mean, before everything happened in the world with health and COVID, I had 87 events planned this year. I did 65 last year. So sometimes the thing that you are most afraid of is actually a guiding light to exactly where you should go.
That's a fascinating story because most people who consider themselves shy would not be good candidates for sales either. And yet you did very well, obviously, in that role, even though you had aspirations elsewhere. But I love that story because it kind of shows that, yeah, we can overcome some things and adjust and adapt and find our place. That's a great story. I love that.
Yeah, well, sales really again comes down to generosity and focusing on somebody else. I actually think everybody's a natural born seller. Just find something that you've ever cared about or ever liked or ever thought was really important for somebody else to know something, or buy a pair of jeans or go to a certain restaurant. When you get onto that, you sell. And so I just really cared about people, and so that's what made me a great salesperson.
That's a great outlook and a great bonus piece of advice. That's fantastic. Well, Shanda, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Really on any platform, but I would say the one that I'm most active on right now that you can still reach out to me in a direct message would be Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm still running my own chat on Instagram, and that would be under the handle Shanda Sumpter. So think like a panda Shanda Sumpter on Instagram.
Great, thank you. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can find us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great day.